Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video, I will show you how to automate tasks on Galaxy Z Fold 7 with modes and routines. Let's begin! And we can begin by simply heading into the settings, scrolling down just a little bit and then modes and routines. And guys, this is where we actually be staying for quite a lot. In this video, of course. So, as you can see, we have the ability to choose a mode based on what you're currently doing or where you are. Your phone settings will change to match your activity or situation. We do have some pre-made things, for example, sleep, theater, driving, exercise, relax, work, or game. So, for example, if we click on it, well, game actually provides us with a nice game mode, which will automatically open if a game is being played. So we can enable this, and basically by default we can just enable Do Not Disturb mode with disabled calls and messages and notifications. We can hit done, and we can also enable, for example, block Bixby during games, so she won't really bother us with anything. We can block auto brightness, so we won't get distracted, and we can, for example, well, maybe not disable Wi-Fi, there's no need to, but we can enable some sort of, well, not ringtone, but we want to simply enable the sound itself, or mute everything. That's also cool. We can hit done, and now whenever we actually open any game, we'll have Do Not Disturb mode with no modes and volumes, no auto brightness, and no Bixby. But obviously there is so much more we can do with that. Technically, I could go over every single built-in thing, but you can probably guess how this will do. So instead, let's do something cool. We can go with add mode, and let's create a custom mode. I will go with a little gray icon, and for example, unfortunately there is no sad icon, which is quite sad, but I will go with this meh robot, and I will go with folded, and maybe add a little small sad icon. Let's hit done, and now I have folded. Now these two parts are very important. If you ever tried your best with programming languages, you will recognize this as a very basic if statement. If a very condition, then do this. It's a very simple thing, and whenever we go with turn on automatically, we have some suggested conditions, like for example, every time we open some application, every time we connect something, or every certain time. But if we go with add condition, you will notice that there are a lot of different conditions. Now I will, for just tests only, show you a very nice condition that is exclusive to this phone. So let's go with folding status, which can be found right under device, which is for specific device only. Now let's go with folding status. I will go with completely closed, and this is a condition. We can hit done. So now whenever we are completely closed, we want to do something. Now in Stay Focused there are only two things. We can enable Do Not Disturb mode and or restrict app usage, which is pretty limiting. Instead we want to go to more actions, and we also have plenty of different actions, with suggested actions being all of this, and of course we have the ability to just enable anything in our settings, anything, or disable anything. I am not going to bother with that. I will go with something very simple like grayscale, for example. We'll enable grayscale. Let's hit done, and let's simply leave it. We now have a folded. So obviously we can now add mode. We'll add it with a little green icon with a happy face, or even better, a little book icon, and we'll call it unfolded. And let's make a happy face this time. So now let's hit done, and you probably know where this is going. We are clicking adding condition, we are scrolling down to folding status, and we're going with completely open. We hit done, We hit done. Now we have our nice condition. As you can see, unfolded isn't turned on. Oh, actually, never mind. It is turned on. It will turn off after it's not set to open. So now we want to go with other actions and we want to disable our grayscale. So let's hit done. And now we have these two modes. So as you can probably guess, let's simply test if this works. We can fold our phone. And nothing is working. Oh, it is working. It had just need a little bit more time. So as you can see, our whole device is now grayscale, because being in a one screen mode is very sad. However, whenever we open our device, colors should go back in any moment now. Now, obviously, this is a very test condition and test mode, because let's be honest here, it's not very practical. I just show you that for the funnies and for the fact that you can do anything here. The same things go with routines, even though the routines are a bit different. You can click the plus icon to add a routine, and this is literally a programming. Since the mode technically can only be worked, like the mode is, for example, whenever I will sleep, whenever I will exercise, whenever I will relax. Routines are somewhat similar. For example, we can go with many ifs, but you will notice that they usually are very similar. So for example, we also have folding status, we also have link to Windows, and we have many more things coming. So we can go with, let's try to do something practical. So let's go with app opened. As you can see, for modes and routines to which app you can see, okay, we are basically giving away our permissions. We can enable whenever we open YouTube. So let's go with done. So if app opened YouTube, but let's add another condition. So also, by the way, I didn't really talk about this, but routines can also take modes as conditions themselves, which is pretty wild to think about. But of course, you can add more conditions. So for example, go also with folding status, with partially folded, which is a very specific thing, but you know. And also, it's pretty cool that you can switch between when all conditions below are met or when any condition below is met. So as you can see, this is a very big amount of things that you can customize. And now what this routine will do? Well, we have the ability to do a lot of things. I will go with probably a very simple... I was looking for... That's interesting, I was looking for do not disturb. Okay, we can go with boost dialog, and we can set it to on. We can also choose our modes, and you can turn on some mode. As you can see, we can turn on sleep, game, folded or unfolded, which is our custom modes that we did earlier. You can also go into notifications, and here we can go with do not disturb mode. And also we can change the order in which these things will actually appear, which is pretty cool. And now when routine ends, we can also set something cool. So basically this will remove all things we have set during our routine. So we can now hit save, and we can go with routine name. As you can see, we have plenty more icons now. So I will go with YouTube. I will set it as red. There is no red. Why is there ugly red only? These colors are very bad. Let's hit done. Okay, this looks somewhat similar. So now we have automatic routine, which should technically enable our do not disturb mode only if our app is opened and our folding status is partially folded. So let's try it out. We can go with YouTube, and we can rotate it slightly. Now let's notice that currently we do not have do not disturb mode on. As you can see, it is disabled. However, the moment I will partially fold my screen, not only it will activate, oh, I screwed up. as you can see, it did activate our double thing. So it's the flex mode panel. By the way, if you want to know a full tutorial about flex mode panel, we do have a tutorial on that. So now you will notice that our do not disturb mode is enabled. Sorry for the light, by the way, but you will notice, if I will go this, that we do have enabled do not disturb mode, and we even have YouTube running, and YouTube of course being our routine name. So as you can see, I could like do a half-an-hour tutorial on the different modes that you can do on any Samsung phone, not only on the folded. The reason the folded is special because you can do a folding status as a condition. But as you can see, there are unlimited possibilities on how you can fully customize and automate your device. So if you are a tech geek or a tech nerd, or you want to just play around with your device, I would strongly advise you to do so, because it's honestly really fun. And who knows, maybe you will actually do something very cool and important. And if you did play around with it, you can share very useful and convenient modes and routines down in the comments below. But anyway, that's all from me. If you found this video useful, remember to like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.